The day my unstable neighbor Karen tried to take my family's lake dream, I bought all 42 acres plus the shoreline she had been treating like her personal playground for 12 years. Then I built a 6-foot spike fence that sliced her $1.8 million backyard straight down the middle. 8:17 a.m. She bursts out in her pink silk robe, slippers sinking into the ground, screaming as my crew starts driving steel posts through her prized English rose beds. Petals scatter like red snow across the yard. Her husband in pajama pants grabs her back, shouting, "Babe, they're filming!" But she's already climbing the chain link, nails breaking, threatening the sheriff, HOA governor, and apparently God himself. I just sip my coffee beside my new no trespassing sign, watching mascara streaks ruin her Botox-perfect face, the smell of crushed roses mixing with pure defeat. I double-check the deed 3 times. This fence is completely legal, 1 inch inside my property line, and I'm just getting started. Drop a like if you're lakeside right now. Hit subscribe before Karen calls the FBI, and tell me your wildest neighbor story below. Here's how a greedy neighbor turned our retirement dream into a 12-year nightmare. I'm Dale, 52, spent 3 decades under car hoods until 3 herniated discs ended my auto shop career. My wife Cheryl is battling lupus, the kind that makes your joints feel like shattered glass every morning. Doctor said low-impact water therapy was her only chance to stay mobile without ending up in a wheelchair. We scraped together every dollar for 15 years, ate generic cereal, drove a rusted pickup, skipped vacations while friends posted beach sunsets, all for 1.2 acres of lakefront land on Willow Lake, northern Michigan. The cabin looked like a fishing shack beside the mansions around us, but those 200 feet of shoreline were pure gold. Then we met her, Karen Whitmore, our nightmare neighbor. She owned the $1.8 million glass fortress next door, all steel and ego jutting into sky like a middle finger to nature. Born into money most people never see in a lifetime. Married Bradley, who basically ran zoning and treated the lake like her private club. For 12 years while our property sat untouched under an estate, Karen decided our shoreline was hers. Her dock, her jet skis, her parties. The previous owner lived out of state and didn't care, so she simply took it. On the day I moved in, I was fixing the dock when I heard heels on wood. Karen appeared like she owned the place, dripping diamonds and waving official-looking papers that smelled like expensive lies. "This is a recreational easement," she declared. "You can't block community access." Community access? On private land I'd bled to afford? Those papers were fake. Beautiful forgeries on township letterhead. Her face turned ice cold in seconds. "We'll see about that." 20 minutes later, Sheriff Morrison arrived. Turns out he was her golf buddy. She cried like it was an Oscar performance, claiming I threatened her. Morrison looked at me like I was the problem. Maybe work it out neighborly. That little dock space was my life savings. But Karen wasn't done. Within a week, violations started appearing everywhere. Dock permits, fire pit bans, mailbox height issues. Everything I touched became illegal. Meanwhile, her paperwork moved like lightning. Funny how zoning works when your husband runs it. Then came the whisper campaign. Karen telling everyone we were lowering property values. Wrong kind of people for the lake. Translation: not rich enough. The breaking point was her 4th of July yacht party, held on my shoreline. 20 guests, champagne, lobster buffet on my property. When I asked them to move, she smiled and called me unstable. That's when I understood this wasn't sharing. This was ownership in her mind. Her next move was paperwork warfare. Endless complaints, endless delays. Every permit I filed disappeared. Meanwhile, she called us a trailer park problem. Translation: poor people shouldn't exist near her view. Then came the yacht party humiliation on repeat. Music blasting from my shoreline like she owned sound itself. When I objected, she told everyone I was dangerous. That was the moment something shifted. This was about control. Not land, control, and I was about to take it back. Karen escalated into pure bureaucracy warfare. Every agency suddenly concerned. My dock needed a $12,000 environmental study. 6 to 8 months delay for 3 loose boards. New regulations. they said. Convenient timing. Then came historical preservation rules targeting my cabin, written overnight to punish anything non-luxury. The smell of manipulation was everywhere. Environmental inspectors arrived, with Karen leading them like a tour guide. She pointed at my dock like a crime scene. Unauthorized modifications, she said dramatically. The inspector even questioned my legal fire pit. That's when I saw something strange. Trash placed near my shoreline. Staged evidence. She was manufacturing violations. But I'd spent 30 years fixing engines. I know fraud when I see it. Time to look under the hood of her operation. I dug through county records for 3 days straight. Coffee, paperwork, and pure stubbornness. A friend at the assessor's office helped me cut through the noise. And then I found it. Her dock had no permits. Illegal underwater lighting in protected habitat. But the real twist came next. My property line was wrong. Hers wasn't. She had been building on my land for years. A legal clause buried in old deeds changed everything. The survey stakes confirmed it. Her empire was partially mine. Her face went white when she saw the results. I filed violations immediately. Every illegal structure documented. The DNR moved in fast. And Karen realized for the first time she wasn't untouchable. But she doubled down. Lawsuits, complaints, fake victim stories. She called it harassment. I called it exposure. Then she escalated again. Floodlights, noise harassment, fake accusations. She wanted me gone. Instead, she made herself visible to everyone, including people who actually investigate corruption. And that's when everything started to collapse.